Everyone said buying condoms was no big deal, and nobody would say anything. Well, that was a fucking lie. I pull up at Walgreens and I walk over to the aisle with condoms. I go, well shit, I guess I need some deodorant too. So I pick some up and then grab a box of condoms. I get to the checkout line. I'm standing there and this one old lady is like, "Excuse me, son, mind me asking how old you are?" And I'm like, I'm 16. Then she purses her lips and makes this judging ass face and says, "Aren't you a little young to be using those?" At this point, the other 5 people in the line are all looking at me, so I got angry and just started acting snarky. Oh, my bad lady. Emma just hit it raw and hope she don't get knocked up. She felt offended, so she shut up pretty quick. And then when I get to the front of the line, the fucking cashier scans the box, smiles and says, "First time with these? Are you fucking kidding me?" Why would he ask that? Whatever. I just said, no second actually. Even though it was actually my first. Anyways, I hate people. I just want to buy some condoms in peace, damn. Don't worry about what that old lady has to say, just remember that dinosaurs have incredibly small brains.
Cashier, would you like a bag? Me? Nah, I'll just wear them out.
Cashier, would you like a bag? Me. Geez, she's not that ugly. Cashier, would you like a bag? Me. No, I'll just turn the lights off. Where I live, condoms are free at the local youth health center. Don't know what it's called in English, but basically a bunch of counselors and stuff. It's just that you have to knock on their door and ask for them. A while back, I was planning for some fun times and went over there to prepare. Normally my guy gets them, so this was my first time, and I had no idea which kind he usually goes for. So this lady opens the door and I explain my business, and she asks me what kind I want. I must have looked super confused because she proceeds to show me all the options and explain the differences. Apparently there's a Tutti Frutti flavored one called Yum Yum. 1 out of 0, tastes like shit. And I walk out of there with 15 different kinds of condoms in my pockets. It was awkward, but educational. 10 out of 10 would do again. I remember when I went to prom, we had to get patted down. My mom had made me bring condoms and she put it in my suit jacket. The security guy seemed suspicious when he felt my pocket because the soft container easily could feel like a weed bag. So I have to go, "It's a condom." This fucking guy decides to go, "Oh, good for you, man," loudly, and slap me on the shoulder. To make matters worse, I went stag. We had some school sex ed thing a few weeks ago. They had free condoms. I took like 30 with me, so I don't have to buy them someday. By the way, they have expiration dates. Anyone want to have sex? My condoms are about to expire. I went to a convenience store to buy condoms and looked for a box of a dozen. All they had was packs of 3. I held up a 3-pack and then asked the Korean proprietor, who spoke so-so English, "Do you have a box of 12? He opened his eyes in surprise, glancing at my crotch and held his hands about a foot apart, exclaiming, 12? Me laughing. No, not 12 inches, 12 condoms. He seemed disappointed. No 12, only 3. When I told my wife the story when I got home, she laughed way louder and longer. That was strictly necessary. So whenever the word 12 comes up in the wild, we look at each other, and in a Korean accent exclaim, 12! First time I did, the old lady cashier was grinning at me and told me to have fun. First time I bought him, an old man took his hands off his walker to give me a fist bump. What's a company secret you can share now that you don't work there? I used to work surveillance at a casino. From something like 3 stories high ceiling, we could zoom in on money on the table games and read the serial numbers of the bills. We could see the pips on the dice. Policy was to not look down blouses. This is true, and also very annoying because I work on the floor, and the guys in surveillance can't be bothered to do their job, and give us a lot of, can't really see anything, when we call them. They're busy looking down a blouse. In Vegas, everybody's gotta watch everybody else. Since the players are looking to beat the casino, the dealers are watching the players. The boxmen are watching the dealers. The floor men are watching the boxmen. The pit bosses are watching the floor men. The shift bosses are watching the pit bosses. The casino manager is watching the shift bosses. I'm watching the casino manager. And the eye in the sky is watching us all. If you were on live chat with customer care, I could see what you were typing before pressing send. I watched people work through grotesque, racist, sexist statements, fraudulent lies and mistruths, meticulous grammar fixes, and their whole range of emotions in real time before deleting and typing okay. Meticulous grammar fixes. Guilty. The worst part is I know they can see it. Your luggage at an airport isn't really handled with care. I worked baggage at an airport. Nothing is handled with care. If it's marked fragile, your only hope is nice baggage handlers. You should avoid packing breakable things at all costs. Edit. Not totally true. I never had one, but we were trained on how to properly handle a casket. The training was, be very careful, don't drop it, and for the love of God, don't sit on it like it's a horse. True story. That's what our boss said. Don't sit on it like it's a horse. That's a warning that exists because someone's done it before? All new clothing and everything you try on is dirty. I've worked in retail for years and it still shocks people, but there's no washing machine or disinfectant spray or wipes. Nothing. I've opened boxes of new clothes that had light bugs coming out of it. Seen woman after a workout class come and try clothes on, then just leave still sweaty from the class. One older lady left dime-sized skin flakes in the clothes she tried on. Not to mention whatever happens when they return the item or what happened in the factory. People are gross. Nothing is clean. Always wash your clothes when you get them home. Had someone steal a new bra and put their dirty-ass bra back on the rack, I threw it out. People have shit inside of fitting rooms, and to this day, all new clothes bought are immediately washed. Everyone looks at me, and I say, the day you work in retail, you will understand that humans are far more disgusting than animals. I worked for a major hotel chain in housekeeping for over 10 years. The number of suicides and people who die naturally in their rooms is a lot higher than you'd think. I worked at a huge convention hotel with over 1,000 rooms, and it happened quite often. Unless it was a pretty gnarly mess, it would just get cleaned like normal, and the next guest had no idea. At one of the hotels I worked at, a woman killed herself by drinking antifreeze. Her body was blue, blood, vomit, and poop everywhere. My friend who was maintenance saw it and couldn't sleep that night. Working at hotels will change you. Drinking antifreeze is a bad way to go. Worked at a lab that tested medical marijuana for safety. Pesticides, heavy metals, mycotoxins, etc. The biggest cannabis brands would fail often, with literal poison in their products, and rather than fixing it, would take their business to another lab and pay to get a passing certificate to sale. Part of why I left the industry shady as hell for something advertised as medical? Was a slot tech at a casino. The machines have to pay back a certain percent over a certain amount of time. Play the slot machines in the bar counters. They are set to return a higher percent in that same time, sometimes up to 8-10% higher than the lowest machines. Stay away from machines in high traffic areas and near the doors. So I've heard and actually seen the opposite of this. Threw 100 in a high traffic corner machine while waiting for a hold'em tourney. Guy walks up with a fat cigar, asking if I'll be on it long. $60 left, I said prob another 10 minutes. He waited. Everything around me was empty. He wanted that specific machine. I lose the rest, and he sits down and says, "Want to see something? This machine's about to hit." Bullshit, right? How do you know that? He throws in his player's card, and in about 6 runs, he hits the jackpot for almost 12 K. I worked in the seafood industry for many years. 2 things immediately come to mind. First, don't ever buy the per-marinated cuts of fish that are sometimes for sale at the counter. Those are cuts that are about to turn bad, or already have, and the marinade is only there to mask the poor quality and smell. Second, more of just for your information, but a lot of the fresh lobster meat you see is made up at least partly from dead and dying lobsters. Tanks and crates are checked daily, sometimes more frequently during the summer months, and the lobsters that croaked overnight are cooked and shucked for their meat. If you see a lot of straight tails, steer clear. Gross. I know you're not supposed to eat animals that died on their own, but seafood especially. Also, having worked at a seafood counter myself, part of my job was removing the little worms that would surface out of the wild-caught fish. Can't get around fish having parasites, but it didn't sit right with me. I was also told not to correct people who thought the salmon and tuna was sushi grade. If someone came in saying they wanted to make poke or sashimi, I had to sell it to them with silence and a smile. The worms are pretty normal, unfortunately. I never buy fish at a market, only ever catch my own since it tastes better, and it used to gross me out a bit as a kid. But really, any decently sized fish is likely to have them. They die when you cook it. It's safe to eat, just icky. Thanks for watching. Also, more videos like this you will find on the channel. Bye.